So you think all the action ends when the NBA trade deadline passes? Oh, not even close. For the teams that really have their eyes on a championship, the real chess match is just getting started. Welcome to the league's second season, the buyout market. This is where the final, crucial pieces of a title puzzle get snapped into place.
And that really gets us to the big question, doesn't it? Did a few smart contenders just pull off the steal of the year without giving up a single player or pick? Because let me tell you, when the right veteran joins the right team at the right time, the entire playoff landscape can change in a heartbeat.
Now, for anybody who's not totally up on this, the whole idea is actually pretty simple. A buyout is basically when a player and a team decide to go their separate ways. The player gives back a little bit of salary to become a free agent, and that's when the contenders, the teams with a real shot, get to swoop in. They can add a key piece, like a defensive ace or a seasoned leader, without having to trade away any of their precious draft picks or young guys. It is the ultimate low-risk, high-reward move in the NBA.
And man, in 2026, we are seeing some absolutely brilliant, strategic moves. Teams aren't just grabbing whoever is available, they are surgically targeting players who fix their single biggest weakness heading into the postseason. So let's break down how the top dogs are playing this game.
First up, let's talk about the New York Knicks. You know their identity under Coach Tom Thibodeau, right? It's all about toughness, grit, and defense. So it's no surprise they've been aggressive, looking to double down on what makes them who they are. They're trying to build a defensive wall that their rivals in the East just can't get through.
The Knicks zeroed in on their biggest need like a laser. Their problem? They just didn't have enough guys who could guard multiple positions, especially those elite scoring wings you find all over the East. I mean, how are you going to stop a Jason Tatum or a Jimmy Butler in a 7-game series? Well, their solution was to go out and sign Jeremy Sochan. The potential here is huge. He immediately gives him a guy who can switch on to anybody, letting them run those aggressive, confusing schemes designed to shut down the other team's #1 option.
And look, this isn't just about adding another player to the bench. It's about adding a very specific weapon to the arsenal. For a defensive genius like Tom Thibodeau, having a player who can just erase mismatches all over the court, well, that's like gold. Sochan is the kind of guy who can literally change the geometry of a playoff series.
Okay, let's hop over to the Western Conference. Take the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're young, they're super athletic, and the whole thing is built around the explosive talent of Anthony Edwards. They've got the firepower, for sure. But what do you add to a team like that to push them over the top? The answer? Experience. Plain and simple. When you have a young roster, that bright lights pressure of the playoffs can be just overwhelming. So Minnesota's brilliant solution was to bring in a veteran floor general like Mike Conley. His job isn't just to score or pass, it's to be that steady hand, to mentor Anthony Edwards, and, most importantly, to be the guy who calms everyone down when the game is on the line.
And this right here is the whole key. Playoff basketball is just a different beast. The pace is slower, defenses lock in, the crowds are hostile, and young teams can totally panic and make mistakes. Conley's basketball IQ is off the charts, and he knows how to do exactly this: manage the tempo, get his team into the right plays, and make sure they don't beat themselves. That's the kind of intangible that wins championships.
All right, for our last deep dive, let's look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They've got Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the most unstoppable forces the game has ever seen. So their top priority in the buyout market was, what else? Adding another weapon to their already scary offense. See, when you have a superstar like Giannis, you know exactly what the other team's going to do. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at him. They collapse the paint, they build a wall, and that means they're leaving shooters open. The Bucks desperately needed a scorer who could make defenses pay for that, and boy, did they find one in Cam Thomas. This guy's an instant offense machine who can completely take over a game for that second unit. And that's exactly why this move is so darn clever. Just think about it. It's a tight playoff game. Giannis heads to the bench for a quick rest, and the other team thinks, okay, this is our chance to go on a run. But then you bring in a guy like Cam Thomas who can just create his own shot and knock down a couple of quick threes. That totally swings the momentum right back. That could be the difference in winning or losing a whole series. These moves really show you how the best teams in the league are always thinking, always trying to get better. But here's the fun part. The market's not closed yet. The biggest steal might still be out there, with a few big-name vets who could still hit the market.
And the two biggest names everyone is watching are Chris Paul and D'Angelo Russell. And what's interesting is they offer two completely different things. With Chris Paul, you're getting elite, genius-level playmaking and that legendary cool-headedness in the final minutes. Imagine him running a contender's second unit. D'Angelo Russell, on the other hand, is just pure, unadulterated offense. is a spark plug who can win you a quarter all by himself. If a contender adds either one of these guys, that could be the final move that shapes the entire season.
So what's the big lesson from the 2026 buyout market? It all comes down to this. While some teams might want to just stand pat and trust the guys they have, the risk of doing nothing is absolutely massive. When your biggest rivals are out there getting better and fixing their flaws, standing still is the same thing as falling behind.
So as we barrel towards the postseason, that leaves us with one last really fascinating question. Which one of these moves is going to be the move that we talk about for years? Will it be the defensive versatility of Sochan locking somebody down, the veteran calm of Conley in a huge moment, or the instant offense of Cam Thomas swinging a game? Or is the biggest domino still waiting to fall? The NBA championship might just depend on the answer.